Today we're looking at President Andrew Jackson. Hello, welcome to the Daily Bellringer. Please don't forget to subscribe and take a look at the questions down in the description. Andrew Jackson was the 7th President of the United States from 1829 to 1837 and was a member of the Democratic Party. Remembered as one of the most influential political figures of the 1800s, known as the People's President, he was admired for his leadership and dedication to the common man. However, Jackson would play a role in several of the most controversial policies in U.S. history. Andrew Jackson was born March 15, 1767, in the border region between North and South Carolina. There is some debate as to which state exactly he was born in. He was the third child born to Andrew Jackson Sr. and Elizabeth Hutchinson. His father died 3 weeks before Andrew Jackson was born, leaving his mother Elizabeth to raise him on her own. During the American Revolutionary War, young Andrew served as a messenger. At just 13 years old, he was captured by British soldiers. When a British officer ordered him to clean his boots, Andrew refused and was struck across the face with a sword, leaving a permanent scar. Both of his brothers died during the war. His mother passed away as well after contracting cholera while caring for Patriot soldiers. Jackson was completely orphaned by the age of 14 and developed an intense hatred for the British. After the war, Jackson studied law and eventually became a lawyer in Tennessee. He quickly gained a reputation for being fearless in the courtroom. In 1796, Tennessee became a state, and Jackson was elected as its first congressman. He later served as a senator and as a judge on the Tennessee Supreme Court. In 1794, Jackson married Rachel Donaldson. Together they had no children, but they did adopt or become guardians of several children. Together they established a plantation just outside of Nashville, Tennessee, known as the Hermitage, where they grew cotton and eventually would have over 100 enslaved people working on the plantation. In 1801, he was appointed colonel of the Tennessee Militia. He led U.S. troops in the Creek War in 1813 and 1814, forcing Native Americans to give up large pieces of land in what is today Georgia and Alabama. When the War of 1812 broke out, Jackson was tasked with defending the port city of New Orleans. Despite being vastly outnumbered, his troops won one of the most lopsided victories in U.S. military history against the British at the Battle of New Orleans on January 8th of 1815. His success earned him the nickname Old Hickory because his soldiers said he was as tough as a hickory tree. He would soon after lead American troops in the Seminole War, which led to Florida being added to the Union. These military victories made Jackson a national celebrity and household name across the country as many began to recognize his leadership. In 1824, he ran for president against 3 other Democratic-Republican candidates. The election was so close that there was no clear winner. The decision of who would be president went to the U.S. House of Representatives, where John Quincy Adams was chosen in what Jackson considered a corrupt bargain. The incident caused Jackson to break away from the Democratic-Republican Party and form a new political party known as the Democratic Party, and to learn more about the corrupt bargain, check out my video devoted to that topic. 4 years later, in the election of 1828, Jackson overwhelmingly defeated Adams in the general election. On March 4, 1829, Andrew Jackson was inaugurated as the 7th President of the United States. Shortly before leaving for Washington, Jackson's wife Rachel died suddenly at the age of 61. Jackson would never remarry. As president, Jackson would be one of the most powerful and domineering presidents in U.S. history. One of the most controversial decisions Jackson made was the Indian Removal Act of 1830. This law forced Native American tribes to leave their land in the southeastern United States and move west of the Mississippi River. The forced relocation, known as the Trail of Tears, caused great suffering and deaths of thousands of Native Americans. While Jackson believed this policy would benefit the nation, it remains one of the darkest chapters in American history. Jackson also opposed the Bank of the United States, believing it gave too much power to wealthy bankers. He vetoed the renewal of the bank's charter, arguing that it favored the rich over the ordinary citizens. This decision earned him both praise and criticism. Additionally, Jackson would be embroiled in the Nullification Crisis, when some states argued they did not have to follow federal law. Despite the controversies, he remained incredibly popular and won a second term in the election of 1832. During his time in office, he strengthened the power of the presidency and expanded democracy to include more white men, even those who did not own property. After his presidency, Jackson still had a strong influence on politics, as later presidents would strongly adhere to Jackson philosophies. Andrew Jackson retired to his plantation, the Hermitage, in Tennessee after his presidency. He spent his final years surrounded by family and friends. On June 8, 1845, Andrew Jackson passed away at the age of 78. So, with that, hopefully you learned something, and thanks for watching.